This week, at least 40 people have been killed by Sudan's paramilitary rapid support forces as fighting intensified in the western Darfur region. Over the last nearly 2.5 years, a brutal civil war between that paramilitary RSF and the Sudanese armed forces has killed tens of thousands of people and created the largest hunger and displacement crisis in the world. Over 14 million people, more than a quarter of the population, have been displaced within and outside of Sudan. And the city of El Fasher in Darfur faces famine and has for over a year. Stephanie Tsai brings us this update and a warning: some of the images in this story may be disturbing.
This is the way to El Fasher in Darfur, Western Sudan by donkey. No aid enters here. A generation of its children facing starvation, eating animal feed to ease the gnawing hunger. A famine was declared in the Zamzam camp in El Fasher more than a year ago.
We are suffering so much from no food, no water. We are hungry. Our children are naked. We have nothing to eat but animal feed. There is no water. We have nothing.
The risk of using animal feed to eat, it's dangerous to our health. We are in acute starving and acute hunger.
Mohamed El Duda works at Zamzam. With hundreds of thousands living here, it's Sudan's largest internally displaced persons camp. El Duda filmed these videos. For over a year, the camp in the city has been under a suffocating siege by the paramilitary rapid support forces.
Our civilian in Fasher, from the morning, they are chatting, they are searching for the things to make or to prepare their meal or their foods. Because of the siege of Al Fasher, nothing can enter, not humanitarian aid, not goods.
What began as a power struggle between the Sudanese Armed Forces, or SAF, and the paramilitary rapid support forces, the RSF, has escalated into a brutal civil war. Sudanese cities are the battlegrounds. And while Sudan's army is accused of war crimes, the paramilitary RSF is accused of genocide and ethnic cleansing. In March, the Sudan army took back the capital city of Khartoum, which was captured and held by the RSF for nearly 2 years. But in April, the RSF declared a parallel government based in Darfur, a large region in western Sudan of more than 7 million people that has been the site of gross atrocities for 2 decades. It is now largely controlled by the RSF, with the exception of the besieged El Fasher. Another hotspot in the conflict, Kordofan, has become a strategic crossroads for both sides in the conflict. The RSF killed dozens of people there in the last few weeks in one of the most deadly episodes of violence in this nearly 2.5-year conflict.
International community, the world should be not ignore what is happening now in Sudan, because every day there is further escalation.
Adnan Hazam, the spokesperson for the International Committee of the Red Cross, spoke to the NewsHour from Port Sudan.
We are talking about 2 million people to 25 million people who need assistance in different aspects: food, shelter, water, medication, everything. What we are witnessing, there is no respect for IHF, for international humanitarian law. So the ICRC, since of eruption of this conflict, remind and urge all the parties involved in the conflict to respect the law, to spare the life of civilians.
Their lives are precarious, caught in a cycle of famine and disease, a cholera outbreak, and on top of that, malaria. The ICRC warns that Sudan's health infrastructure is at the brink of collapse, with 80% of facilities shut down. Most people in conflict areas have no access to health care, and even those who do rely on these makeshift clinics. In a village outside El Fasher, Huda Ali and her family escaped famine, but not the war. She's pregnant and already the mother of 4.
Until now, my husband, the father of my children, has not come back to us from Al Fasher. I had fled with the children. We have family members that are still missing.
And everywhere, so much trauma. Anam Abdallah, only 19, is haunted by what she's witnessed.
They killed people. They killed people in front of us. They took the girls in front of us and raped them.
Rape and starvation deployed as weapons of war in a part of the world that fears it's been forgotten. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Stephanie Sy.